What's up, guys? Sub-Zerek here, back for not another VOD review. Today's going to be a talkie video about patch 14.18 because I'm on vacation. As this video is coming out, I, haven't played 14.18 yet because I'm not playing TFT. I'm taking some time to R&R. I'm chilling on a beach somewhere. But I wanted to give you guys, a video while I'm gone. And I wanted to talk about this because there's so much content about 14.18. Now, I do also want to do a video just talking about 14.18, it's a huge patch and kind of the implications of that for TFT and patching in general, but that's actually going to be tomorrow's video. Today, we're just going to go through all of the stuff that's been revealed so far for 14.18, my thoughts on it, and yeah, just a review for people who are not caught up. Now, there's going to be some new stuff that's not even in this video because I'm recording this days in advance, but, if perhaps there is other stuff, I mean, you guys will figure it out. So first thing is this this new pan component. It replaces sometimes spats on carousel, and it can be used to make the uncraftable traits. So, before all of these things like Hunter, Multi-Striker, Bastion, Preserver, all this stuff is uncraftable. Now they're craftable. I think this is a cool change. It did seem kind of arbitrary which stuff was craftable versus which was uncraftable sometimes, and did probably make it kind of difficult. One of the things that more talked about actually is that Tome of Traits, I think, is in some way being replaced by this, or by like a way to get a spat or a pan or something, which makes sense. I do think Tome of Traits was like very, very kind of awkward, and like you had to know exactly what the breakpoints were and like tailor for it before. It's just one of those things that is just like kind of awkward to play around in TFT. So I like this a lot. As far as like, will this be broken? I mean, I do think things like Multi-Striker +1 getting you to 7 multi early, Shapeshifter +1 getting you to 8 Shapeshifter. I mean, the Mage +1, we'll talk about more down the line. There's certainly potential here for strong stuff. 5 Preserver early online, Vertical Hunter. We'll really have to see what the state of all these traits are in after the patch comes out. But I'm excited for this, and I'm excited for the opportunities that this allows, and also for these cool new combinations that they're like fawns, but they can grant you like extra gold. I don't know, pretty cool. All right, let's talk about some of the other stuff revealed. Ahri is basically being completely reworked. Mort talks about, her spell is very hit or miss. Either, it's got this long travel time, and like sometimes you hit like 4 units, and I do kind of like that. I like the kind of wonky targeting type units. I hope we don't go super far away from wonky targeting type units, because like Ahri positioning was really cool and innovative. Something, when that Reddit post came out, and I talked about this on stream and other places, where like it talked about how to position Ahri to get max value out of her ult, I thought that was really, really cool and really, really smart. Ahri almost reminds me of like Mascot Yumi was another unit where her positioning was like weird and like could be, toxic sometimes as she would snipe backline, but like had really cool risk versus reward, had really interesting targeting. So my one fear with like changing Ahri and other units is like, I hope every unit doesn't just become like a very basic spell, and it's like every unit is they shoot a little blast out, and like that's really easy to balance, and so like that's fair. I hope that doesn't become the case. I don't think that's gonna become the case, because I think, TFT is a team that loves to, swing for the fences and try crazy stuff. But something to keep in mind. So her new spell, she no longer has her passive that gives her extra AP. I think that's reasonable. That was kind of hard to balance. And also her true damage has been moved to this Foxfire that goes to extra units. So you can see here, she fires this spell, and then she fires some extra Foxfires at other units, to nearby targets. And then, oh yeah, it's like every single cast she gets an extra Foxfire, I believe is how it works. Where does it say that in here? It says it somewhere in here. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm pretty sure every cast she gets an extra Foxfire. Yeah, she has like 5 here, and then she casts again, and she goes up to 6. Yeah, okay. So yeah, she gets more and more Foxfires that go to extra targets. So it's a fun, like, ramping AP carry, but it doesn't have that really, really long cast time that made it so you basically had to build Adaptive Helms on her, and it seems pretty reasonable. I don't know why these items look so strange, but whatever. I'm generally a fan of this, like I said, but it is a little bit, it's kind of a boring spell. I'm down for there to be more exciting spells in TFT, so small thoughts on that. All right, Honeymancy rework. Basically the idea, I think, is that I haven't read through all of these like fully, so maybe I should just straight up like read them. The challenge with Honeymancy before was the damage having to be the same at each breakpoint. Right, so they're making it so they can actually, like, the breakpoints are actually now how much damage it is, and then it is like the bees are standard, right? Yeah. Okay. I think this makes sense. It's kind of hard to maybe this gives them like more reasonable balance levers to tweak. It's also this says leave 2 bees, but then Mort says pass 3 bees on death, so maybe they're like figuring that out. But the idea is now they can pass more bees and make like a huge giant carry at the end. You want to see a lot of bees, I guess is the idea. You know, before people are getting very few amount of bees, you don't actually like see the trade in action. That was one of my big things when I played in playtest with Honeymancer. I was kind of like, this trade feels very underwhelming. It's hard to tell what the bees are actually doing. Compare that to something like Laser Core, where like you could see all the drones going like it felt more like you could understand it more very easily. So I think this makes sense. You get more bees, they're gonna probably, you know, do less damage, but you know, as you get more and more, they're gonna do damage like twice as often with this. Makes a lot of sense. I think this is a smart rework, and I can't wait to have a carry with like 1 billion bees on it. All right, I mean, this is just a good one. 3 stars combine instantly. How many times have you guys made a 3-star and it combines on bench right as the round starting, and then you have 2-star 2-star versions of the units stuck on your bench and you don't get your 3-star? Now they instantly combine. I love this also because like there was also a weird thing, I'm sure this has happened to you guys before, where after you hit like a 3-star version of a unit, you can't see it anymore in your shop, right? But if you roll your shop as the 3-star is combining, say I roll my shop here as this Twitch was combining, before you could actually have a situation where you'd see another Twitch in your shop. So it's actually optimal. You probably saw me do this sometimes, is I waited for the 3-star to combine to roll my next shop just to guarantee that all these Twitches were out of the pool for me. Now you don't have to worry about that. You can just roll down instantly as you see the Twitches, as you see the Twitch 3. So this is going to make rolling down a lot more satisfying. It's really good for people on high ping, which is important because TFT is a game where, you know, sometimes we have tournaments where people are playing on high ping. So I think this is a really, really nice change. And just, you know, just a good change in general. It's like yeah, I mean, it's just a fantastic change in general. So I'm very, very happy with this. So yeah. All right. Nomsy rework. Okay, so this one that I didn't read that far through, but looks like Nomsy hits a main target and some secondary targets. So we're changing Nomsy, and also I thought Nomsy was a girl. Twitch says Nomsy dude. Maybe, or not Twitch. Mort says Nomsy dude. I thought Nomsy was a girl. I don't know. We're changing Nomsy's spell to deal with some devastation. First, instead of coming in a bunch of small ticks, the spell hits in one big, large, satisfying chunk. Okay. And then also makes Ludens good. Okay. If the spell overkills, it splits to 2 nearby enemies. So now making sure the spell hits hard as possible is in your best interest. If you manage to get 3 dragging, the power of friendship gives the spell additional power. It was put to 4 targets. Wow. Okay, that seems sick. Wait, is there a clip of 4 dragon? No, it just shows this, right? This is pretty cool though. I imagine this is not completely said here, but does the overkill damage, is it split between these two? It must be, right? Instead of like them each receiving the same. So like, doesn't 4 overkill like mean that you're splitting the same damage over less targets? But it does allow you to hit a bunch of extra units. I think it'd be really fun for Nomsy to just get that Ludens effect. And so like if Nomsy then overkills a backliner, then that jumps. It's probably not how it works, but that would be sick. I think this is a cool rework. This is a fun spell. I thought, yeah, Nomsy's spell was very like basic, and so like another cool spell is kind of interesting. So I'm down for it, and I mean this spell looks really cool, so I'm down. All right, 10 mage. So because mage spat is craftable now, we can add 10 mage. I'm a big fan of this. I think there's so many weird traits that like don't have extra steps, which make it really, really awkward if you get too many spats, and you want to be able to play for 10 mage. So very, very happy that they're adding 10 mage. I think Mort said, yeah, it sets all your mages max mana to 20, so they're just giga casting every single time. I mean, I love this. I can't wait to play a 10 mage Veigar game and just have my Veigar going pew, 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 and then my Vex just shield instantly. The shield gets popped. She shields again instantly. The shield gets popped. I have a Nora that's going boom, boom, boom. Like Nora with 10 mage sounds insane. Just boom, 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 throwing out all of these balls like that. That sounds nuts. So I'm a fan. I mean, what can you say about this? I'm probably gonna say something similar about most of these, that they're really, really cool. But I mean, hey, I hopefully my enthusiasm is do you guys just hear my chest pop? I like did a little thing right there. I was at the gym earlier today. I was pumping iron. You guys know how it is. All right. System update. Okay, actually, this is one that I can talk about a lot. This is one I can yap about. Um, Magnetic Remover. Every PvE round, including at the start of the game, if you don't have an item remover, then you are 100% guaranteed to drop one. Now, PvE round, right? I misread this at first, and I was like, every round you get a remover. I'm just gonna take Zephyr every game, and it's gonna be broken. But it's every PvE round, so just on minions. But the idea is that they want people to be able to move items around. They want people. I mean, let me just read what Mort said. We're finding that letting players feel a bit less committal about their item slams while still making have a resource to manage can help make it feel less daunting to slam an item that isn't the exact one a guide said. Use it on champ knowing they can move it later. I think this is very smart. I think it's kind of funny. A lot of the patches where items have been like you've been able to pop off items as a bug, people have actually enjoyed those a lot. Do you guys remember? I think it was set 8 hero augments. Where there was an item pop-off bug where every time you 2-starred a champion, it would pop off their items if they had maybe an open component or something like that. And people really liked it, right? Because you could just slam whatever. You always get to pop off your items when you 2-star them, which means you never feel like bad about slamming items on a unit. Now, I do think that's probably too far, and I think this is a pretty happy medium where you don't necessarily get to pop off every item. You still have to commit sometimes to slamming an item. I think that makes sense. But you still also get to pop off items when you want to. If you feel bad about putting an item on a unit, well, minion round is just a little bit far away or a little bit away, and then I can use my remover there. It also allows for cool optimizations where like you go into the minion round, use a remover to move your items, then you grab another one just to like give yourself the ability to do that. So I overall like this. I'm a little afraid that like you don't want to just give people a golden remover at the start of the game. I think that is too much. And this is, it's not exactly that, but it gets a little bit close to that. And it does become bad where just like slamming items doesn't mean anything. You're always supposed to slam items and there's no like punishment for just slamming items on like a bad unit, like and just always putting items on a 2-star. I mean, it's probably not terrible, but I don't think it is amazing for the game. It also, like, if you had a golden remover every round, then you would have to slam components on every single unit every round, and it becomes kind of annoying. And then you have like moving TGs around and stuff like that, which is also difficult. So I think this is a pretty happy medium. I'm certainly down to try this. I think this is one we aren't committed to being permanent. We're hoping to get some learnings from it as we continue moving TFT forward. I think this is smart, saying that it doesn't have to be this way. If people don't like having all these removers, and the kind of scary thing about this, and hey, maybe there'll be a change that Mort talks about that fixes this, is that like bench space. Like if you already have a bunch of items or thingies on bench, getting an extra remover. I mean, usually the problem is that removers are clogging up your bench, so I guess it's not a huge issue, but something to consider is you have limited bench space, so it's kind of it's something. But overall, I think I like this change a lot. I think it'll be fun to be able to move items around much more freely, and yeah, it feels good. All right, on to the next one. Okay, I don't actually know. Oh, I do know. This is such a weird one. 4-star champions. Theoretically, if you hit 27 copies of a champion, you don't get a 4-star. Now that will give you a 4-star. Now here's the thing. You still can't find, this is like the weirdest one. You still can't find extra copies in shop. I think somebody asks. You will still not see copies of it after hitting a 3-star in the shop. So this is only for like weird situations where you like roll a bunch in a round and pick up a bunch of Elises. I doubt this is gonna like break the game and there's gonna be some broken like 4-star, Elise tech. I mean, it would be kind of hilarious if that did exist, but if that's the case, then they'll probably make it so that that can't happen or something like that. But yeah, I don't really get this one. I don't know how you're getting that many copies I don't know how you're getting 27 copies of a unit. Maybe they can add this like to the game where they're now an augment that just gives you like a copy of a 1 cost, like at 2-1, and then every round for the rest of the game it gives you a copy of a 1 cost, and then you can play for 4 stars. I mean, it opens up design possibilities, so I guess I'm down for that because of that. Okay. Faerie. Okay, this is one that I haven't actually read, but I had someone tell me. Faerie has been in an odd spot where the 2-piece is always extremely good for the free crown, but going 4/6 is usually not worth it. The 9-piece ended up being disappointing for the difficulty to reach it. We're adjusting the trait to a 3/5/7/9, so you have to commit a little bit more to get the queen's crown. Oh, but ooh. But now at each breakpoint is more satisfying. At 5, you'll be able to get the armor. And then at 7, you get a second crown, which allows you to dual carry. Oh. Makes 9 even stronger since you have 3 radiant versions. Interesting. Okay, my only immediate question is, who are you putting the second crown on? I guess it goes on Katarina, right? Is what we're seeing in this screenshot. It's kind of a little awkward, but I guess you then just dual carry Kalista Katarina in the 7 Faerie version. Okay, I'm here for it. I like the idea of it. I think this is cool. I do agree with Mort that it was kind of awkward. This is another 3-piece in the early game. I feel like there's so many 3-pieces in the early game. This is a little bit awkward for that, because we have 3 Portal, 3 Eldritch, 3 Mage, 3 Honey. Like, I feel like every early game now is about hitting a 3-piece, which is a little bit hard, but at least you have this, which is accessible with 1 cost, 1 cost, 2 cost. So I guess it's reasonable. And then just like the front line, I guess, like the Shapeshifter, the Vanguard, the Bastion, those are like all 2 pieces. Weird. I mean, yeah. There's obviously stuff like Hunter and Blaster. Blaster's kind of, you need 3 costs to get in there. It makes the trait web a little bit weird early game, but I think it'll probably be fine. But yeah, an interesting idea. I like the idea of having double crown. Makes Fairy Spat even better because, you know, it's kind of like, well, I'm going to put Fairy Spat on a unit, but I'm probably putting the crown onto my Callista. But now you can put Fairy Spat onto, you know, another unit and then Spat or Crown Callista and Crown another unit. So I like it. I like it. And it makes, you know, the 5 a lot more exciting. 5, you know, 4 Fairy. I did the VOD review of Setsuko. At this point, it's going to be way forever ago. But you guys saw that guy play 4 Fairy early. That shit was bad. If that was 5 Fairy early, that would have been pretty good. All right. Next one. Ashe rework. So the idea now is her self buff lasts for the rest of combat. So if you have a bunch of casts, you get this, which is Ashe just machine gunning everybody. I mean, this looks pretty cool, just shooting out like a billion arrows. I mean, I don't think, yeah, I think he said, since her self-buffing in the last 5 seconds, the requirements to reach that state limited her itemization to just Rage Blade stacking. Okay, I guess I see what he's saying. I mean, it feels like Rage Blade should still be pretty good on this, but I guess the idea is you can stack up a bunch of stacks, and then if you have something like Renans or even just like a DB, she can just be doing a lot of damage with these arrows. Okay, I like it. I mean, pretty simple, but I like the change overall. Yeah, okay, so she just keeps getting additional arrows. Okay, I'm down. Oh, this is a big one. I think this is probably the most controversial one. And here, let me move my head so you can see this one. They're adding more late game combat charms, and these are some big ones. Gain 3 temporary TGs. Your team gains a 1k shield, decaying over 5 seconds. This is a really, really cool one. They had this in playtest, and I was actually surprised that they took it out, but now they're adding it back in. Your team's physical damage is dealt as magic damage. This is so cool when like you're fighting into a team with a bunch of like armor, and you're like, how can I get through this insane? You know, imagine you're fighting into like a Wukong with like a Bramble Vest or something, and then you just take Paragon here. It swaps your damage over to magic damage. It seems so cool. Counterspell here. This is going to be a crazy one. Mana Reeve, all enemies, like summon a large golem equipped with a defensive item, and then your units execute enemies that fall below 200 HP. These are going to be controversial, I will say. There's some crazy ones. Like Mana Reeve, all enemies? I feel like people are going to complain so much. Oh my god. At the start of combat, immediately my entire board gets Mana Reeve. How am I supposed to play against this? I do like this in general, though. I do feel like you are basically rolling down for stuff like Earthquake or Dragon or like Animate Bench or like Bust at that point. Like you kind of had to hit that point, and having like a more variety of effects I think is good. I think it's a good thing for charms to reward people who have a bunch of gold who can like roll down and select a good charm. It also decreases the chance that, you guys have seen this happen a million times. You have 10 gold, you roll once, you hit an econ charm. Okay, that's fine. I roll 2 more times, I hit an econ charm. I go, oh fuck, okay. I have 1 4 cost on bench, I sell this. I roll twice more, I hit another econ charm. I'm like, fuck, I have no combat charm. This is much less likely to happen in this scenario now. So I generally like this. It will be controversial. Maybe people will complain about like counterspell or, you know, barrier or something, and then it'll get, you know, taken out of the game. But once again, I'm happy with Riot trying out new stuff. Okay, Wukong rework. So Wukong's BIS is gargoyles, and I think they want that to not be the case. Mort says here, his old passive limited his itemization options pretty heavily, restricting what you could play, when you could play him. Now, his passive simply gives 40 bonus armor to Mar that deteriorates a bit each second. Oh, okay. So you almost kind of want to play for fast fights. If you see a Wukong early, you should be thrilled since it'll be quite strong, right? Going with something similar as a Warmog stage 2 will be tough to take down. This purposefully a nerf to his cap. Wukong 3 with 2 gargoyles was far tankier than he should be. Really only held by large amounts of true damage. Wukong 3 is still an option. Won't be quite over the line. Interesting. It kind of makes, yeah, Wukong want to play for like fast fights, which is kind of the opposite of how you usually play him with stuff like Jinx and Guinsoo and like scaling up. I mean, he'll still be very tanky, and I do think he should honestly be insanely broken at the start of the game. Now, 40 armored MR bonus is a lot. So I'm overall okay with this. Once again, like, I don't really mind that Wukong's Biss is gargoyles, but I think if they want to change something, sure, why not? Like, it is kind of weird that is a unit's BIS. New augments. Okay, so these are augments for Arcana, Draconic, Flexible. Okay, we'll talk about that. Okay, so let's read this first one. Arcana champions deal 10% bonus damage. If they start combat holding 2 items, they gain a recommended third completed item. Huh. Okay. I find the idea of an Arcana augment kind of weird because Arcana wants to play for team usually, so buffing up all your Arcana units tends to be kind of weird. I don't know if this one lands for me. I guess we'll see. It's like, what do you take? Like, you have an Ahri 3 and you take this, but then like at that point you don't take this. I don't really understand this augment. Okay, I'll look at the next one. I don't know if I like that one that much. Dragons gain 10% HP and 80% attack speed after dragons score 60 champion takedown. Go to Smolder. Whoa. Okay, I actually love this. I love this because this was the tough part about Draconic Mastery, was that you're not going to play around. You can't play for Shyvana 3 and Nomsy 3 because if you roll early, then you're never finding a Smolder. This fixes that. This is really, I like this a lot. That's such a smart solution. Is okay, so why not then I take this, I get extra HP and attack speed onto my dragons. I honestly don't even like the attack speed that much. I prefer like just straight up damage amp because I don't think Shiv cares that much about attack speed. But now after they get a bunch of champion takedowns, you're gonna get a Smolder, so you get that guaranteed Smolder, and then you can play for 3 dragons. That's such a smart change. I love this. I'm really excited to try this out actually now. Hats off. Okay, I like this one a lot. Winter is coming, so this is the remake of Frosty Frontline. Your Frost trait also gains a placeable Frost Wolf equipped with a Protector's Vow. The wolf gains attack speed and 300 HP per Frost tier, so it's kind of like a carry. It looks like a bunch of attack speed. I mean, attack speed and HP. It's almost like Eldritch. Like it's like a kind of tanky carry. Okay. I mean, I'm curious to see what this Frost Wolf can actually do in combat, like what its ability looks like and stuff. Okay. And now Flexible is Prismatic. Demacian Raptor said this at the start of the set. I think a lot of people said this as well, that this should have just been a Prismatic augment. You can't make this, you can't nerf this augment enough for it to be reasonable at gold. So I like this being Prismatic. It's kind of weak early for a Prismatic. You're just getting like an emblem to start off the game, but as you get further, you get more emblems. So I like this a lot. Ezreal rework. And then I think we got one more after this. Yes, we got one more after this. Ezreal rework. So with champs that blink like this, oftentimes they do just kind of end. So now he's only going to blink if there's an enemy nearby. Okay, so I like this. And second, he has a lot of a hard time killing units. Big guys especially. Since the spell is so much AoE, if he only hits one target, he doesn't hit them that hard. Now he gains a chunk of bonus AP damage on the first target he hits. Okay. And then stuff like Giant Slayer Shojin is better because he has an AP ratio. Oh, and Blaster is getting buffed as well, interestingly. Okay, I like this a lot. Because, yeah, Ezreal's biggest issue is this guy can't kill units. So giving him extra damage on the first unit hit, I think that's a fantastic change. And making it so that he doesn't just blink randomly and like kill himself, I think that's really, really smart as well. I think this is a fantastic change. I like this. The video is getting kind of long, so I'll just go into the last change because this is also a big one, is that they're upping 4-cost odds at level 8 from 20% to 22%. It's a 2% buff, but it's also a 10% buff, blah, blah, blah. How do you, whatever you guys want to say. It's 2% overall, but it is 20 to 22% is a 10% change. If you yell at me in the comments for this, I will come to your, okay. I like this change. I generally think this feels about right. I don't feel too bad about your ability to hit 4-cost this patch. But you know, I think in general, 4-cost definitely is under-dominated. Like last set and this set, really. I mean, remember, like we had the Yone patch and all that stuff, and then it got completely taken out of the. But I like little changes like this. I feel like I remember when they changed like 3 cost odds, and they just destroyed them at level 6 or 7 or something like that. But like this is nice, just a little bump up. 20% to 22% for 4 costs at level 8. I like this, and I like playing around 4 costs. I mean, it's just like kind of the standard way to play TFT, so I think that's reasonable. All right, this is longer than normal video, so I'm gonna cap it off there. Let me know what you guys think about the patch. You guys probably know way more about the patch now, so comment down below what you guys think about all this cool stuff, and I'll see you in a couple of days once I'm back from vacation and I'm playing the patch myself. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.